Good afternoon, Bluebirds. I'm Carmen Lewis.
And I'm Ashton Willis, broadcasting live from the Highlands News Studio in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, delivering your February news show.
There's so much going on in the Nest right now, and we're so excited to show you.
Starting with Highlands Theater Department, SpongeBob the Musical is currently in the works. Your classmates are working very hard to put this production together. Here is a short teaser.
Attention Senior National Math Honor Society members, your $20 dues for your graduation cord are due February 28th on Friday. You can drop your cash or check to Mrs. Kerlock, room 100. If you have any questions, please let Ms. Kerlock know.
In other news, a Delta airline airplane has flipped upside down on the runway after an issue with landing. Delta Airlines said a total of 21 injured passengers were transported to local hospitals.
As of Tuesday morning, Delta said 19 people have since been released from the hospital. 3 people, including a child, suffered critical but not life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. We will continue to update you as more information comes our way.
There is so much going on in Highlands athletics. Brendan has more.
Thanks, Ashton. Before we begin with Highland Sports, we're going to take a look at an up-and-coming business locally. If you're a runner like me, you're always looking for cool products and new gear to wear. Personally, I have a ton of Sprints hats. They're fun hats for runners to wear, and I got a chance to sit down with the owner and founder, Eric Rose, on his process and challenges he's faced in the business.
I think Sprints is a community of amateur athletes that just love running. The insight started, I ran a marathon, I ran the Chicago Marathon actually, and I had a group of friends that I was hoping I would celebrate with and meet me on the course, and they knew where I was going to be and when I was going to be there, and I ran by and they never saw me. And it was this like big gut punch to me that you do all this training and you want to celebrate with your friends, and in the sea of sameness they weren't able to find me. And I just could not find an athletic brand out there for running that had gear, apparel, accessories that was a little more fun. So I just originally started with 2 shirts and a hat, and put together an idea of maybe there's other people out there that want some interesting and unique running gear as well. And I was kind of learning through how to build the community, how to build the website, what's going to sell. I brought on a second hat after that first one sold out, and then if you remember March of 2020, we got hit with this thing called COVID. And as a small player who didn't have any pull on the supply chain, I was going to get what I could get, and as soon as it sold out, it was going to be really hard for me to replenish that. And so I just moved to this limited edition model. How do I make my biggest weakness, which is the fact that I can't have a reliable supply chain, my biggest advantage, market it that way? I'll call it limited edition, and when it's gone, it's gone. And what that did is really create this mentality with the consumer that you got to get it while it's here, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get it again. And it started to create almost this got to collect them all mentality, and people started collecting the hats and looking for the latest and greatest.
If you want to find these hats or other products that they sell, you can find them at your local Fleet Feet or at the website in the ticker below. Now let's head over to Highland Sports, because we've got some big news to cover as the Highlands dance team over the break went to Orlando and were crowned best in the country as they were able to take home the national championship for the first time in school history. That capped an incredible season as they took home 2 state championships, a national second place prize, and a national championship. Congratulations to all these girls. There's also congratulations to go around with Ladybirds wrestler Emma Hood for winning the region and will go down to state once again. Congrats, Emma. And a big good luck to the Lady Bowlers of Highlands High School, as this season was truly an underdog story for them. They were seeded last in the region tournament and able to strike down the competition to take home a region win. Their original date got rescheduled due to weather, and they will now compete in-state next Wednesday. We got a chance to sit down with Coach Eckley and hear his thoughts before the big tournament.
Well, I hope that we can go as far as we possibly can. I think it's going to take them really bowling consistently well, picking up their spares. But my hope is we carry the success that we had in the regional tournament into state and make a good long run.
I think we have a good team, so I think we're going to do a pretty good job and just try our best. I mean, we didn't expect to make it that far, so we're just going to do our best when we get there.
What I've seen the most was really strong development with our younger bowlers, taking from the leaders from our seniors, particularly on the both on the boys and girls side, but I think mainly like the big thing that happens with bowling is they finally started kind of embracing what we were trying to coach and teach, and that takes a long time and a lot of patience. And I think over the last couple weeks at the end of the season, we really saw it coming through with both teams. So it was great to see, and I hope that they carry that next year.
I grew over the bowling season by just my skill improving. It's my first year on the team, so I think I definitely I was at an average of 60 a game to around a 120 by the end of the season. So I'm real happy with that.
I would suggest asking any of our bowlers now how much fun it is. It is a blast. You learn a great sport. It's something that you can do on your own. It's inexpensive, and we have a lot of fun.
Definitely, it's really fun. Mr. Eckerly's a great coach, so yeah, definitely.
Thanks, guys. Moving on to basketball, both the girls and boys basketball teams will be in action for their final games of the regular season tomorrow night. Last night saw both teams in action in the same format, a varsity doubleheader against Simon Kenton. Unfortunately, both teams took a loss at Russell Bridges last night. Next week will be the 36th district tournament. Tuesday and Thursday will be the girls, and Wednesday and Friday will be the boys. The boys' semifinal and final game, along with the girls' finals, will be live broadcast on BlueBirdsRadio.com. We'll wrap things up wishing the swim team the best of luck as they will head this weekend down to Lexington to attempt to take state. The boys look strong as in the 100 breaststroke, senior Griffin Barlow is seated second with junior Noah Gracie at sixth. In the 200 relay, they're seated second, I apologize. On the girls' side, in the 50-meter breaststroke, Reagan Moore is seated sixth, Sarah Jones at seventh. In the 100 freestyle, Reagan Moore is seated fifth with Kira Kabita right behind her at sixth. And the team is seated fifth in the 400 relay. There are a lot of great things happening in the halls of Highlands, so make sure to keep showing up and supporting these athletics. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brennan. If you are interested in joining the Red Cross Club, use the Schoology join code on the screen to join the group. Their first meeting is March 3rd, immediately after school in the Black Box. This is a great way to get access to volunteer activities, service hours, and networking opportunities.
Thanks, guys. Segueing into some national news, the United States and Russia agreed on 4 principles following talks that lasted over 4 hours in Saudi Arabia. These points were said to be useful from Russia's standards. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Tuesday that they are, quote, going to negotiate and work through the end of the conflict in Ukraine in a way that's acceptable to all parties engaged. Ukrainian President Zelensky, who was not invited to the talks, said Ukraine will not give in to Russia's ultimatums, and earlier said he would refuse to sign any agreement negotiated without Kiev's involvement.
The National Guard is a great way for students to save money on college tuition. Anyone has the opportunity to refer a friend. When you invite a friend, it gives the opportunity for students to climb the ranks and get into top dog schools without even starting their program. Garrett Kujatar, a Highland student, is looking for a lead in for other students into this program, and he wants to give some insight on what it takes and what it has to offer.
So with the National Guard, we are state first responders, so we can do anything from natural disasters, anything like that. So any way that we can help the community here in the United States is what we prioritize in the most, but then we also can respond to the federal government, so oversee deployments, stuff like that as well.
When I enlisted as a 31 Bravo, which is the MOS designation for military police. I will ship off to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, where I will both learn how to become an excellent soldier and to learn and incur the responsibilities and the roles of a military police officer.
We do 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer typically, usually averages to about 38 days a year of, on-the-job training of whatever your job is in the National Guard. And besides that, man, you get to have a civilian career and do whatever you would like on the civilian side as well. So we have what's called the National Guard Scholarship. So basically what that means is we pay 100% tuition to any public state-funded school. That's also trade schools, anything like that. So any colleges, trade schools within Kentucky is something that we can help pay for.
If you are one of the top 3 producers in the state by referring a bunch of your buddies, you are eligible to go to a select amount of schools, air assault, airborne, mountain, and Pathfinder schools, which are basically top dog schools that are very challenging, very rigorous, but also have a very high reward outcome for your path in your military career in the future. Feel free to scan the QR code on the screen or come and find me and ask me some questions, and I will be glad to direct those questions or help you myself.
If you have any further questions, email Garrett with the email in the ticker below.
And with that, our February news show comes to a close. I'm Ashton Willis.
And I'm Carmen Lewis. Have a great rest of your day, Bluebirds.
Go die.